6 months ago today was my last day working a 9 to 5. How have I been able to do this, you might ask? Well, we're gonna get right into it in this video because this is Credit Fiend. We fiending for that credit, and if you still don't have 6 figures in credit, then you need to get with me so that way I can help you get 6 figures in credit, because it's super important and it's gonna also help you on your journey no matter what part of your journey you're at, whether you're trying to get out of work or whether you are in work and you're just living that normal 9 to 5 type of life. So comment down below if you need to get with me and get 6 figures in credit, because it is crucial that you have it. It's better to have it and not need it ever than to not have it and to definitely need it, because I mean, a lot of people need the credit these days. You can't live without credit. So get with me, I'll help you out. And let's get into this video. So how have I managed to go 6 whole months without working a 9 to 5? My last 9 to 5 was a table games dealer. I was dealing at a casino, just doing the same motions all the time. And you know, it was just getting repetitive. I got tired of it. I eventually moved. If you've been following this channel, you know that I moved. So I moved from up north, came down south. So the first thing is to cut your expenses. Cut your expenses down as low as they can go. I mean, you don't need a big old fancy house. You don't need all this extra stuff. You need to cut your expenses as low as they can get and start budgeting. Because if you don't know how your money's flowing or coming in and coming out, then you're not gonna be able to leave that job because you don't even know how much money you need in order to live. Does that make sense? So first thing is to cut down your expenses. The next thing is to find you some type of income to be able to pay for those expenses once you know how much you need to be able to live off of. So you got to go down to the bare minimums, okay? Like I said, you need to budget. You need to see what the bare minimum is. You need to figure out what places are going to work for you. So like groceries and stuff like that, we go to Aldi's. We don't shop really at Walmart or Target for groceries. We go to Aldi's because that's what I found to be the lowest cost. So just look around your area and see how you can break down those expenses as low as possible. So once you do that, then you can figure out, like I said, figure out how to get you some type of income, or if you save money or something like that, if you got some type of plan, but figure out how you can get some type of passive income or some type of income so that way you're not working that 9 to 5, but you can still kind of work in and out. So whether that be like some type of freelance work like Fiverr or anything like that, whatever type of skills that you have, start your own little business or something on the side until you can finally get out of your 9 to 5. Me personally, I do Uber. I drive people around. I love to drive, so that's what I do. I just go ahead and do that whenever I need to or whenever I can, like work around my schedule, do it however I want to. So there's no need to be working 40+ hours or even 40 hours to do that. Now, you're probably wondering how much you're gonna make from doing that, because there's DoorDash, there's Uber Eats and things like that. It depends on your area and it depends on where you're at if you're gonna be able to even do something like that. Because in my area, the lowest that I would make from doing Uber is like around $20 an hour. That's the lowest, that's the bare minimum. However, it goes up on the weekends or with tips or just depending on how the night goes. I average at least between 25 and 30 an hour. And then on top of that, it's actually a little bit more because you're not having to pay taxes. When you're doing freelance work, you are able to cut off your expenses from your income. So you're writing off all that stuff. So I don't pay any taxes because you got maintenance on your car, and you know, they write off like for the mileage and the gas and all those types of things. So you really don't end up having to pay anything extra. So if you're making 25, 30 an hour doing that, you're actually making about 40 an hour because you don't have to pay taxes on that money. Does that make sense? So you're keeping everything that you're making. So it's really nice to have something like that on the side, whether you just do Uber and you do whatever else you're doing. However, DoorDash, Uber Eats, things like that, just depends on what you like to do. I personally like to just continuously drive, and I found that Uber pays a little bit more, and depending on what type of vehicle you have, you can get really high up there to where you don't even have to do drives like that. There was a lady that was telling me that she has a bigger vehicle like an SUV, so she goes in the comfort or the extra large space. So she just does a couple airport runs and she's done for the whole day, because those airport runs, they be racking up. And a lot of the people that are doing the airport runs, when they're doing the comfort, they're using their business card. So they're writing that off, or their company's card, they're writing that off anyway. So they're gonna use the most expensive Uber. So depending on what type of vehicle you have, it can really work out for you if you're doing something like that, if you're not, you know what I'm saying, if you're not nervous or things like that around people or having people in your car, because it is a little bit nerve-wracking in the beginning. But do you want to stay at your 9 to 5 and deal with those people and have them telling you what to do all the time? Or do you want to have someone in your back seat, you just drive them where you're going, and you could decide whether you want to turn off that app and go home, take a break, do what you want to do? So that's what I do in order to bring some little bit of extra income in. The next thing is the bank offers. If you've been following this channel, again, I have all types of bank offers on here. $2,000 plus that you can get just from even just one person. Now, if you have two people in your household, like you and a spouse, you can double up on that, and that's gonna bring even more income coming in through those bank offers. So go check out some of my other videos and you can see which banks are giving you those free offers. I got a whole chart for you guys with all the different lists of banks that are doing that. Now, it's not all of them that are doing it entirely, but it's a good start, and it's at least like 5 to 8 different banks that I have on there. It's gonna get you there, okay? The next thing that I look for is, this channel is all about credit at the end of the day. So 0% interest credit cards are your friend. They're gonna help you whenever you need to buy something, so that way you are not just racking up the interest. And that's the thing that kills most people when they're using those credit cards, is that they're racking up the interest on those cards. They're like near 30%, and you know, interest rates still haven't been cut. So like I said, your interest rate, depending on what your credit is looking like, they might be around 30%. However, there's ways to cut down on that, like I said, with the 0% interest, or if you go to credit unions, normally they have lower interest rates, like under 20%. So that way it's not racking up as fast, and you can go ahead and use those for the things you need now. And then later on, you can go ahead and pay that stuff back if you got a type of plan. And I'm gonna talk about the plans and things like that. The next thing is, depending on your area, you might have a place called BioLife. I'm gonna try and link my little referral down below, so that way you guys can go ahead and join. But I've been doing the little BioLife plasma. I'm not sure exactly how much they pay for the regular thing, but they have a bonus right now where if you do 8 times within a certain amount of time, it's about like a month or so, then you will get $725 just by doing that. So you might be there for about an hour or two, and depending on the visit, it might be $80, it might be $100, but it's all gonna end up equaling $725. Now, that is about $40 an hour, or $50 depending on how long you're there. Or you know what I'm saying? It might take you an hour, maybe 2 hours. On the first visit, it might take you like 3. But you're getting like $90, so that's still like $30 an hour. The other ones you're getting, like I said, just depends on the visit, but it ends up equaling $725 between those 8 visits. And that's BioLife. I'm gonna try and link my link down below so you guys can go ahead and check them out. The credit card bonuses, I have a lot of videos about credit cards and things like that. Now, when you go and you apply for these cards, a lot of them are gonna have bonus offers, such as USAA. I know they had a bonus offer that we just did for their Amex card. That was a $200 bonus offer. My last video on the Amex card, they're giving you $600 in points right now off of that if you use the cash. Now, if you use it for travel or anything else, it might translate a little bit differently, probably more than likely more in your favor. I don't necessarily use it for those types of things. I just like the cash. But yeah, like the Amex is giving away the $600. They do have an annual fee, so you can go and check out some of the other videos on how you can do that. And also just using those cards to the best of your ability, like you're just using them to their max potential. Because in the 2 videos ago, I showed you guys how you could get your iPhone paid for, but just by using the upgrade cards. So the upgrade cards will give you up to like 5% back on certain things and stuff like that. It just depends on the category. Now, the upgrade cards will give you so much percentage back on what you're using, about like 3% or so. And the city cards as well, they'll give you 5% back on your highest on your highest category. So you got to use the cards to the best of their abilities, because if you're using $1,000 a month on that card just by using your bills and you're paying them back, that's already $30 on the previous 2 videos ago that I was showing you. So that's your iPhone paid for right there. I mean, it might not be your full entire bill, but at least the actual phone, which is probably about $35 a month, is going to be paid for, because you're getting that 3% back in points. Now, if you're using the city cards again, like the custom cash, I'm pretty sure it's called custom cash. You can go check out the other videos, like 2 videos ago. That one gives you up to 5% back on your highest spend category. So if you are spending about $1,000, we're just using 1,000 for easy numbers, but if you are spending $1,000 a month just on, let's say your highest category is groceries, and you're actually going to the grocery store, like I said, you can't just use it at Walmart or Target or things like that. It's got to be an actual supermarket. But if you're using that, you're getting that 5% back on that $1,000, and that's $50 a month right there that you could be using towards whatever you need to be using it. And then also, like I said, if you have somebody else with you, like a spouse, they can also get the card, and then you guys are doing it double. So now you're getting 5% back on the groceries. You use one card for the groceries, and then you use one for the gas when you're doing Uber and things like that. You might be using, like I might use $20 a day on that. So if I'm working 5 days a week, that's, $100 a week. That's $5 extra. That's $20 a month right there. So you got the $20 right there. You got the 30, and then you got the other one, which is 5%, which is the 50. So you can already see how you're already racking up. That's about $100 a month just right there, just off of the credit card offers. And that's just using 3 different cards. Two people have the, 2 of y'all have the custom cash city card, and then you use the other card that I mentioned, the upgrade card. That's just off of 3, and you're already getting close to $100 back every single month. It's really just that easy. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the car loans and things like that, like certain loans that you just don't necessarily need. This goes obviously back into cutting expenses. You don't need that brand new car. You don't need to be paying $600 a month or more on a vehicle. It just doesn't make sense. Just get you a nice little Toyota or a Honda. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I drive, Toyota. Get you a nice little Toyota. You can definitely find those for under 10K, 5K, all right? And like I said, some of these cards have 0% interest. Bruh, I literally bought a vehicle off of credit, like off of a credit card. I know it's a credit, like, you gotta get the loan and stuff like that, but off of a credit card, like that's insane. 0% interest on the card. Like I'm not even having to do 6% low interest or whatever it is for the car loans. Like literally, it's really just that easy. That's all you have to do. And then use the car for the Uber and things like that. That's why I said having 6 figures in credit really comes and it works in your favor, because you can start leveraging that credit. And again, I'm going to go into leveraging the credit and having a plan for things. Like there's different little side hustles and stuff. Someone just put me onto the storage units. Like you can go, they have auctions for the storage units and things like that. Of course, you're not always going to get super lucky. It just depends on where your area is and that nature. However, you can go and you can bid on the storage unit, and then you can flip and resell those. Now, it just doesn't have to stop there. You can go to your Goodwills, you can go to the clearance section. It's gonna take a little bit of work, but you're not working a 9 to 5 at the end of the day. You can use that 6 figures in credit to go ahead and start that business that you want on the side. So you don't have to do everything on the business side. You can go ahead and start on your personal stuff just to see how it works and use the 0% interest as well. Another way to leverage your money, another way to leverage your credit is to invest in crypto. Now, it's risky and it's going to take a little bit more time, but this comes more inside of the planning area. If you plan it right, such as right now where things are really down, but our president is pro crypto, and all the big institutions have been buying, and they're literally suppressing the price right now, so that way you can have an opportunity to buy. And now you're lucky because you have this entry right here, which is, I wish I had this entry. I already stacked my plays a couple years ago, or yeah, about a year or two ago, I already done stacked up. So my entries are kind of averaged because I just been dollar cost averaging. But this entry right now, if you just wanted to go straight into it right now, not financial advice, this would be a really good entry. Now, of course, you got to pick the right ones, and I dodge some bullets and stuff because some of them be going straight to zero. That's why I said sometimes it's a little bit risky. But if you have a good solid plan and you're able to leverage your credit, you will not have to go back there. You will not have to go and work that 9 to 5. I'm telling you, this is the play. I have not been back. I don't have no boss. I don't have anyone except for my wife. She's, you know what I'm saying? She's a boss or whatever. But I don't have no one telling me that I have to go. If I want to take the days off and let that money stack up and find another way to pay for it, I can do that. I have options. And also, of course, you can go to a whole nother different country if you wanted to too, and you could live off of that credit. Because, you know, there's a lot of countries where you can go around, you might pay $400 a month just for, if it's just you, like a 1 bedroom, or you and your spouse or whoever, you could pay $400 a month just for your apartment. And then food might be what, like $2-3 a day, or for one meal, not a day, but for one meal. So you might spend $10 in that one day on food, like, or less, really. And especially if you go grocery shopping and you do your own groceries in another country, I'm saying not here exactly. But there are ways to save. Use ChatGPT. ChatGPT will tell you different types of ways how you can save, different types of meals that you can make here in the States that are going to be cheap. If you want your budget to be $100 a week or less, if it's just you could type in the ChatGPT, give me a list, give me a grocery list where it's less than $100, doesn't include these things, or does include these things, and it'll give you it straight out. It'll tell you exactly what to buy, how much is average is gonna cost, what the recipe is to make it, everything. It babies you. And in this generation right now with this AI technology, there's no reason why you should have to even do any of that if you cut your expenses low. Now, I live pretty minimal, as you can see. I don't go shopping and buying all this stuff. I pretty much only buy the things that I need. And I do have like clothes and I do have shoes, obviously, but I don't have a lot of them. And really, as far as shoes, I wear the same ones every single day. I have other shoes, but I really only wear one. So don't even give me that, because if you buy a nice pair of comfortable shoes, that's really what I care about. I care about being comfortable, and I'm comfortable right now. This is nice. Like, hey, I'm just telling it like it is. It's been 6 whole months. This is living proof that you could do it too. You don't have to be listening to that boss. You don't have to wake up every day having anxiety before you go to work, because that's what it used to happen to me. Now, of course, I'm human. I'm still gonna be anxious sometimes. I'm still gonna be like, oh my gosh, this may or may not be working out or whatever. But that's just life in general. It don't matter what position you're in. You're always gonna have ups and downs. It doesn't matter where you're at. You could be at this fancy job. You could work at the IRS. You didn't see how they was literally laying off people from the IRS. You could have these tech jobs. You could be at these banks. The banks, remember, they were having all these banks crashing just about a year or two ago. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You're just making excuses. You're being afraid to take that leap of faith. As long as you have that safety net under you, of course, you don't want to be out here homeless, just quitting your job and having no type of plan, but make a plan and execute it. At the end of the day, there's jobs out there for you. It may not be the job that you want to do. You might have to, if you make a mistake or something, you might have to go back to working at Walmart, working at fast food. But at the end of the day, obviously it depends on your area, how much they're paying. But at the end of the day, all these jobs you can make it. At the end of the day is what I'm trying to say. You can make it. Even if you have to start back over and go back to the job or whatever. Who cares if they're making fun of you because you ended up back because it didn't work out? Try it again. There's the ones that are still gonna be there till they're 50. I guarantee you, if you failed 3 times, that 4th time is gonna work. Like, it just is the truth. It is the truth, and a lot of people are afraid to admit that. And that's how I've been able to go 6 months without having no 9 to 5, no boss, no one telling me what to do, not having to be forced to go. I can choose whenever I want to go somewhere, do whatever I want to do. It's really just that simple. Have a plan for yourself and execute that. If you want to do social media like I'm doing right here, it may not be the thing that works out 100%, but then while you're doing this, someone might give you, or you might stumble across an opportunity. Like it really is just like that. And obviously you got to work with your, the creator or whoever you believe in and things like that. You got to live by faith at the end of the day. But who isn't living by faith? If you're working that job and you're just barely getting by, it's really the same thing, if you ask me. So what you waiting for? Go ahead and work with me, get you some 6 figures in credit before you quit that job, because you need some type of stable income to show that, like, hey, I got this income coming in, this is stable, and apply for that credit or get X loan that you need, or blah, 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 to go ahead and get started. But it really is just that simple. Just create a plan for yourself and execute it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. We fiending for that credit.